Hi, it's Mark Rushton of markrushton.com. It is Sunday afternoon, November 29th, 2020. And a little tired today. It's just accelerating like crazy because I got to go back to work tomorrow. I might take a day off during the week. I got a lot of time to burn before the end of the year, so I have to plan for that. Listen to some of the ambient Matic music that John Harnish and I recorded yesterday afternoon and evening at the Matic building in Cedar Rapids. Sounds pretty good. I have to edit that in the next couple of days. I like to just jump right on it and get in there and edit it and throw a lot of stuff away. I don't leave. I used to leave it sitting around, and of course, in this day and age, when you can edit audio pretty quickly and get things, released from under like Bandcamp or streaming services, there's no point in leaving it sitting around. So that's what I'm gonna do. Probably this evening, edit a little bit of that audio, and then welcome Facebook. And just get that done. So one thing I discovered yesterday when I was recording with these new speakers that I got, these powered monitors, is that, I think I need to get like a different wire or adapter because they use RCA in. So I was doing a 3.5 millimeter, which is that, small cable, to RCA, instead of RCA in on the powered speakers. And I need for one instance, I need a quarter inch jack. And so there are adapters. I think I have, or I can buy just a cable that's a dedicated cable for that. I might just do that. I don't know. We'll see. So anyway, and so what I had to do was I had to, because I didn't have that quarter inch to RCA, I had to go and improvise and run everything through my little Tascam DR-05, which I've had this now for a little over 5 years. And essentially, I'm not even going to explain how I run audio, but I had to run it through this to get it out to the quarter inch to, I have my effects box, and it's crazy. It's crazy. So what I used to record yesterday's Matic is this little fella right here. This is a Zoom H2 digital audio handy recorder. I think I bought it in 2006, if I'm not mistaken, because when I used to do live audio at the Matic back in 2005, when we started doing occasional ambient jams down there, I would record using a binaural microphone hooked up to my mini disc recorder. I don't think you can get much geekier than that in 2005. Binaural microphone and a mini disc recorder. Getting it off the mini disc was a painful process, but once these things came out, and I think this was about $200 in 2006. I might have bought it in 2007. I can't quite remember. And these were revolutionary at the time. Just absolutely amazing and really good quality. And this thing has been through the ringer. It has been dropped a million times. Well, not a million times, but a lot. Like the little door here on the SD card holder, it's long gone. And I remember I dropped this at must have been about 10 or 11 years ago. We went to Thanksgiving in Chicago, suburban Chicago, one of Ann's cousins, and I think I dropped it there. And one of the LCDs, there's like little lines on the LCD, and one of them just is gone, and so that makes figuring out the menus a complete nightmare. But I can't get rid of it. because it does work. It eats through batteries much worse than how they used to, there was, I can't remember what they used to say. It was like up to 8 hours or up to 10 hours or up to 17 hours on a couple of double A's, but it kind of eats through them. I don't know whether, maybe it's because I leave the front light. It does light up, but I don't know. And then the other thing is there's like a mic gain switch here, and I don't think that works anymore. I think it's just one setting. You're at low or medium, and that's it. And so I don't even mess with that anymore. I don't use the USB. I don't use the USB out. I don't think that works anymore. And what I've always done with it is this. And I love that the Zooms use just a regular size SD card. You just pop it in there like that. But then what I always do is pop it out and stick it in like a little converter, USB converter. And that's how I get the files onto my hard drive. So a lot of things it's very small. It's very broken, and yet it still works with 13, 14 years later. It looks like a little shaver, just kind of doubles as your shaver there. That'll be my thumbnail, right? But it's cute. It looks good. And it's got all these hold on here. Left, right. It does a million things. I think it has a metronome in it or a tuner. Never used it. And the menus on this thing are just a nightmare. All of these digital audio recorders have the worst menus. The best one I ever had as far as I had a Zoom H1 when we were doing Bound Off. I think we had a couple of those, and I'm pretty sure both bricked, because that's what they did. The Zoom H1 was that little stick recorder, and everything, there was no menu on it. Everything was on the side, but there were two problems with the H1. And the first one was that if you left batteries in it, they would drain. There was like some sort of phantom draw on that, so that was a flaw. And then the other thing was, like, one day it would just, like, you haven't dropped it, you haven't done anything wrong with it, it just quit. And the other thing was, now I've got these little things to hold your audio recorder. You just kind of screw them in here like this, and you're like, what's your question, sir? And these are nice, but on the H1, you could not, even if you had this thing attached to it, you'd still get sound into the audio recorder, and you don't. It's what's pretty good about that. But those H1s are cheap. I wouldn't buy one of those ever again. But again, they didn't have menus. That was the nice thing about them. But in other ways, they were largely disposable. So in 2015, after I quit using the H1s, and this thing was all just a disaster, I decided to buy a Tascam DR-05. And this makes very good recordings. And it's got its problems. And I deal with it, I've got, what have I got here? I thought I had more stuff here related to that, but I can't remember where I put everything. Oh, well. So the DR-05, again, it's got another nightmare of confusing menus in it. And but it does a very good job. I largely record everything on 320 MP3. It's got it's a micro SD card. Now, if you buy these, you can still buy these. It's now called a DR-05X, and they don't come with a micro SD card, and they don't come with a USB cable either. I don't know why they do that. So I have to go, and I've got this thing here. It's this kind of USB. I don't know what that is. It's not the mini. It's not the C. It's the other one. It's I call it the fat USB. And just plug it in right in there. And then there's a menu setting that you have to know to change it to. And plug it in, and it moves it perfectly good. And I've got a furry to put over this for field recordings up on top here. But the problem with this design is that they put the line out right at the top. So if you are out and you want to do a field recording and you want to listen to it, like plugging in headphones or something like that, this doesn't have Bluetooth. So you get your furry over the top, and that comes down to about here. And then your wire has to kind of run down there. It's a kind of a pain. It's kind of a pain. And sometimes I leave the hold on by mistake and all that. But generally, I mean, you can buy these all day on the internet for like $89. They are very good. And I nothing's broken on this in 5 years. And I've dropped it. And it's very good. I would buy another one of these, despite the line out being in a weird spot and hating the menu. I use it very simply. I have the settings, set them and forget them. You know, hello YouTube. Saying hi to everybody who's joining up to their Sunday live stream. So these are my digital audio recorders. Nothing fancy. Yeah, $200. This was like bottom of the barrel cheap when these came out in 2006. And again, the newer one, the DR-05X, $89 all day on the internet. But then you got to buy the micro SD card, which, you know, those cost a few bucks. And then the USB cable. I'm sure everybody's got something like that sitting around, or you can get it super quick or super fast, however you want to do it. So that's what I used yesterday to facilitate the ambient-matic recording. And then, I used this to record it. So I listened to some of the tracks, kind of skip through, and everything sounds really good on this. Just the beautiful room sound. So I've just got to go and attack that, edit things down. John had to officiate a wedding while I was setting up. It was a few blocks away, and because he's Reverend John Harnish, and then he came back. I probably made like an album's worth of material before he showed up, so I'm not quite sure what I'm going to do with that. Some of it's pretty good. A lot of it's heavily processed lap steel and heavily processed music from the apps that I use on my iOS. So let's move on to the next topic here real quick. I want to get outside and carry some firewood around, because I need to run up and down the hills and carry wood, and, you know, get a little exercise. It's dreary out there today. It's kind of, there's a little break in the blue. So let's go over to some of the things that I have added to my eBay art store. I added 5 paintings today before I just, you know, you can only do so much before you really start to, it's just too much. And you really, I have a lot of things available to put on, and I'm, you know, 5 a day, that's probably enough. So this is Super Sky. Let me make this a little bit bigger here. And I wonder if I can let me bring me back in here. So this is Super Sky. It's an acrylic ink on Tyvek synthetic paper. It's in an 8x10 matte and frame. It's a white matte wood frame. It's one of the Blickwood gallery frames. And just super smart looking, super good looking there. This is how I do it. I like intersperse the image with the different pictures. And that's obviously a scan of it. So got that out there. That looks great. Then I have Thicket. Can I say that word? Can I say the word thicket? Is that legal? Can I say that? Again, one of my abstract acrylic ink landscapes. And we'll skip on to the next one here. Westerly. And what else we got? Monoflow. I do monochromatic every now and then. And yes, this is supposed to be meant to be a abstract landscape. Sort of a, I guess you would call it icy or visual, you know. Let's go back here. Yeah, that looks good. Looks good. And finally, I think it's morning sun. Morning sun. Pretty good there. Pretty good there. So I'll add more. I'll add more here this next week because I did a bunch of photography the other day, and I think earlier video I talked about that. I just had a blast. It was fun. I was just going through the catalog, and that's the thing. It doesn't do anything good sitting on a shelf. You know, there's no reason to not push yourself to at least get it out there. Get it out into the marketplace. Somebody may want it. Somebody may see it. And just I need to be focused on just having a system and a process in place for making these available, making them available commercially, and being able to put everything together with regard to matting and framing and shipping. And that's what I do with my eBay art store. So again, I'm Mark Rushton, and my website is markrushton.com. You can find out more about me and my paintings and go out to my eBay art store, and also subscribe to my email newsletter. That's it for today. We'll see you on Monday. Bye.